And now it is time. After going a pedestrian 9-6 in the money line in week 6, along with 2 for 5 in best bets, it's time for me to give you my week 7 NFL predictions. Now, in the money line, I am now 61-32 on the year. In best bets now, I'm unfortunately 19 for 30. So we are a little bit behind our 60% best bets chase. This week, I don't love the numbers. Thursday night is a very interesting game. We're going to get into it here in a second. And so without further ado, these are my week 7 NFL money line predictions and best bets. Kicking it off with Thursday Night Football. Now, we don't know if Trevor Lawrence is going to play. It's why I did not bet this game. If Trevor Lawrence is healthy, which I'm going to say that he is going to play, I like Jacksonville here to go on the road and beat the Saints in New Orleans. Derek Carr has not played well at any point this year. Even in the game against New England, he did not play that great. I don't know what it is about Dennis Allen and being a head coach, but everywhere he's gone, their offense has been horrible. The Saints are going to look to bounce back against a bad Jaguars defense, but the Jags have been putting up points on people. Trevor Lawrence not played as well early in the season, but Doug Peterson in his career historically has been very good on a short week on Thursday Night Football. That's where I think the advantage is for the Jaguars this game. I think that they go into New Orleans, the better offense wins, they win the game. The caveat I have, if Trevor Lawrence does not play, I will switch my pick and I will go to New Orleans. The line of Saints -1.5. If we were sure that Trevor Lawrence was going to play, I'd best bet Jacksonville here, but I'm going to stay away from it. Next game, we have Browns at Colts. Another game that, once again, it seems to be the theme this week, right? Not sure about the quarterback position here. And so we don't know if Deshaun Watson's going to play. Sounds like it could be a game time decision for Indianapolis. It is now the Gardner Minshew show. And as I said on Tuesday, Gardner Minshew reminds me a lot of Baker Mayfield, a lot of Sam Howell. Some weeks are going to be good. Some weeks are going to be bad. I do think the Browns need to win this game more than Indianapolis. I think at this point for the Colts, you're saying, okay, our franchise is done for the year. Let's kind of shut it down. Let's win, 4 to 5 games and 8 to 9. Let's get a better draft pick and let's help out Anthony Richardson, because we don't want him to have the same situation that we put Andrew Luck in. I think the Browns is a much-needed victory for them, knowing that they have Seattle coming up in Seattle, which is going to be a very tough place to play and a very competitive AFC North. Again, I'm not going to bet it because I don't know who the quarterbacks are. The money's coming in on the Colts because the line has gone from 2.5 to 1.5. I'm going to stay away from it, but I got the Browns winning the game. Next one, I am going to best bet. I have the Ravens -3. I think they win. I think they cover against the Detroit Lions. Now, as I've been saying with the Lions, they're a very, very good football team. Their defense is a lot better than what I expected it to be going into the year. The one test we have not seen Detroit do is go on the road in cold weather. Kansas City, week 1, it was nice and warm in the Midwest. We have not seen Detroit go into cold weather and win a football game. And the Ravens defense is once again top 10 in the league. If the Ravens could catch passes, they probably would be undefeated. Lamar Jackson would probably be an MVP candidate. He's having a very good season. The lines of scrimmage here is going to be who wins this game. It sounds like it's going to be a little bit nicer than what you would expect in mid to late October in Baltimore, about 63 degrees and sunny. So if Jared Goff's comfortable, there is a way for Detroit to win this game, but I think it's a tough spot for them here. I got Baltimore winning this game. Now, Chicago, they're not going to have Justin Fields. That offense is not going to move the ball. There's not a lot to say about this game because the Raiders are not a very good team, and I hate betting the Raiders on the road in Chicago, going from Vegas to Chicago. I think it's a bad spot, but the points here are probably about right with a backup quarterback for Chicago. I mean, we've seen crazier things in the NFL. I would not be surprised if Chicago pulled off the upset here, but give me Vegas -3. Next game, I'm going to take Tampa. Even if Baker Mayfield does not play, I think even with Kyle Trask, I'll take the points. I'll swallow it at -2.5 just because I don't like the way Atlanta plays offense. I think they're trying to get Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier too much involved, trying to rotate the backs. They're trying to use the tight ends a lot. They finally got Drake London involved last week. But Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask at this point, I actually trust more than Desmond Ridder, and I trust Tampa's defense more than Atlanta. Division games are weird. We know this. I don't love this bet. Again, I don't love all the lines this week. But I think Tampa -2.5 is the side. It's why I'll take it. Bills at New England. You have no idea how much I wanted to bet Buffalo -8.5 in this game. But something tells me you can't bet New England to lose by more than 8 points. Something tells me at some point, knowing the New England Patriots, they're going to win, they're going to cover, they're going to find a way to get an upset. They're going to beat the Buffalo Bills, who did not play well last week. This may be the 1 week where I tweet out at @real_bworld that I make an amendment. I may pull my Tampa pick and I may put Buffalo into that spot. You know, we'll see as the week goes on how I feel about it. This to me almost says that the Bills should blow them out. They almost lost to the Giants. Thing is, Buffalo usually plays down to their competition. They're not going to take Belichick and crew lightly. Belichick has not been able to stop Buffalo since Josh Allen has arrived. So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and make that amendment now. I'm going to take out Tampa out of my best bets. I'm putting Buffalo in there at -8.5. I just talked myself into it here on the Brandon's World podcast. Now, Commanders at Giants. The Commanders are favored by 2. Listen, a lot of people think the Commanders are going to kill the Giants. We thought the Giants were going to get killed by Buffalo. I'll say the same thing. Divisional game. And we know the Giants have been laughed at and humiliated all season long. Commanders, can they put up a good winning streak? I mean, they played bad Atlanta. Now, can they beat the Giants? Absolutely they can. I think they will. The question here is, will Sam Howell play back-to-back good games? We have not seen a back-to-back good Sam Howell game yet this season. The Giants' defense is very good. You know Wink Martindale is going to put a lot of pressure on Sam Howell, who does not handle the blitz well. There is an upset here, potentially brewing with the Giants, which is why I'm not going to best bet it. I would say this, be careful about this game. We all thought Jacksonville was going to clobber Houston. We all thought the Niners were going to beat the Browns. Browns on a backup quarterback, Jets on a backup quarterback. Crazier things have happened in the NFL this season, which is why I say stay away from this game. I'm going to take Seattle -7.5. I'm going to best bet them here against Arizona, who I think they mostly know that their season's over. Seattle, to me, this is probably the easiest game that they're going to have on their schedule the rest of the year. Coming off a loss to Cincinnati where they did not play well, they bounced back. This is my survivor pick this week. I think they cover the 7.5. They win the game. Weird game here, Steelers at Rams. And it's weird because Pittsburgh's coming off a bye. The Rams are favored by 3. Mike Tomlin off a bye against a Rams offensive line that's not very good, having to block TJ Watt. It's where I think this turns into a low-scoring game. I think it turns into a lot like what Philadelphia and the Rams turned into a couple weeks ago. I think Pittsburgh finds a way to come out here and they sneak out of here with a victory in Los Angeles. It's going to be a very Mike Tomlin game. Not a lot of scoring. Run the football, get pressure on Matthew Stafford. The question is going to be, can they get home long enough to force Stafford to not be able to hit the long plays down the field? with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. It's an interesting matchup. It's an interesting point of styles. It's really a go either way game. I think the line is right here. I'll take Pittsburgh with the points, but I'm not going to best bet them. And then Green Bay and Denver was that I think at some point, like Denver has to win a football game. Now, Green Bay is coming off a bye, and Denver did almost lose to Chicago. I don't think Denver's great. I don't think Jordan Love is great either in that environment. I think Denver off a Thursday night, Sean Payton is going to have a plan. He's been very good against the Packers in his career. Aaron Jones should be back for Green Bay, though who knows? It sounds like he probably is going to be back, but it's not 100% certain. I think Denver finds a way to squeak out a low-scoring game here, give them the edge at home. Now, Chargers-Chiefs. We all know it's a coaching mismatch. We all know how well these two teams play. We all know the Chargers, they always want to beat Kansas City. They seemingly can never beat Kansas City. The line here is 5.5. I think the Chargers have a chance to cover. I think it could be a field goal game, like a 30-27, 27-24 type ball game. I think Kansas City finds a way to win the game like they always do. I think that the Chiefs defensive line and Chris Jones gets after a Chargers offensive line, which outside Rashawn Slater at left tackle isn't great this year. And so that's where I think the game is won and lost. Mahomes gets the ball last, leads him down in field goal range, a division rival, and once again, the Chargers choke in the 4:25 window. Then we have Sunday night. We have Miami and Philadelphia. And the Eagles are looking to bounce back, obviously, last week after that horrific loss to the Jets, where they had a meltdown and people are calling them now frauds and the laughingstock of the NFL. I think Philadelphia will bounce back in a big way this week. Miami, a lot like Buffalo. I think Philadelphia can really test Miami, force Tua to be patient. The Eagles have a very good defensive line. Jalen Carter should be back. When you have him, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, and Hassan Reddick, who is really starting to turn it on, I think that they make life miserable for Miami. And as Philadelphia defensive coordinator Sean Desai said this week, Miami does have speed, but in his experience, physicality neutralizes speed. I think the Eagles get physical with Miami. They have James Bradbury and they have Darius Slay. They have the corners to cover Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I think the Eagles are able to run the ball. They're able to move the ball on a bad Miami secondary. I see like a 30-20 type game here. I don't think Miami puts up a lot of points. I think the Eagles defense gets after Tua, who struggles on the road. Eagles win in their Kelly green uniforms. And then I'm going to bet San Francisco, who I think takes out their anger in a dome Monday night from losing to Cleveland. They come out, they play really well. They beat up on Minnesota. They're 6.5-point favorites. I think they win by at least a touchdown, which is why I will take them. So once again, I have Jacksonville over the Saints on Thursday Night Football. Browns over the Colts. Baltimore over Detroit. Vegas over Chicago. Tampa over Atlanta. Buffalo over New England. Washington over the Giants, Seattle over Arizona, Pittsburgh over the Rams, Denver over Green Bay, Kansas City over the Chargers, Philly Sunday night over Miami, San Fran Monday night over Minnesota. My 5 best bets for Week 7 of the 2023 NFL season are Baltimore -3 against the Detroit Lions, the Raiders covering the 3 against the Chicago Bears, Buffalo covering the 8.5 against New England, Seattle covering the 7.5 against Arizona, and then San Francisco Monday night covering the 6.5 against Minnesota. Yes, I am taking all favorites this week. Like that clip from the Brand's World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brand's World podcast right here on YouTube.